Thank you, Mr. Chairman, and good morning, everyone. I am glad to join you at the first markup of legislation for the 119th Congress. Our staffs have worked together to reach agreement on most of the bills that we'll consider today, and I appreciate that collaboration. But I can't help but wonder if what we're doing today will even matter, because it ignores a very large elephant in the room. Right now, the administration is illegally blocking funds enacted by Congress to help hardworking Americans, including funding meant for wildfire management and water infrastructure projects at a time when communities in California are still reeling from disaster and other communities are hoping to avoid the next disaster. Are we considering measures related to these egregious abuses of power today? No. The administration has illegally fired inspectors general from at least 18 federal agencies, including the Department of Interior, without warning, without explanation, in clear violation of the law. But are we gathering today to advance legislation to force the White House to follow the law and reinstate these independent watchdogs? We are not. Elon Musk and his Doge tech bros are ransacking federal agencies, accessing America's private data, and purporting to fire people and shut down entire programs. It appears that NOAA is next on the chopping block, a science-based agency that provides critical weather data, life-saving storm warnings, maritime safety, among other massively important functions. Gutting NOAA, the way Doge is attempting to do with so many other agencies, will literally put lives at risk. But are we taking action today to safeguard this essential agency? Nope. Our Republican colleagues don't even want to talk about it. Today, this committee will not be advancing any legislation to respond to the Trump administration's actions at all. Not their illegal actions to freeze funding for wildfire resiliency, not their wasting of billions of gallons of precious water in California for a photo op, and not their illegal purge of federal workers. Today, this committee will not be taking up any bills to meaningfully address the actual cost of energy for everyday Americans or to combat the climate crisis that is harming Americans. Instead, Republicans are burying their heads in the sand and doing essentially housekeeping tasks today. The main agenda item is marking up their Authorization and Oversight plan, which is a glorified press release. Despite its name, it does nothing to oversee the actual abuses of power happening right now down the street. They're acting like everything is fine, just business as usual, as if none of these crises are happening. But let me assure the American people, this lawlessness, this chaos and calamity, this total abdication of Congress's oversight role and its Article I power, this is not normal, and it is not acceptable. I'll save most of my comments about the so-called oversight plan that we're marking up for debate, but here's a little preview. Committee Republicans will lay out their priorities, like pursuing a dirty drilling agenda to increase U.S. oil production because it's never enough, even though we're currently at record-breaking levels. This Valentine to big oil will do nothing to help hardworking families meet the costs of their energy bills. It'll do nothing to protect clean air and clean water, and obviously it does nothing for the climate crisis except to make it worse. The focus of this oversight plan really speaks to either an inability or just a flat-out refusal to ever question, scrutinize, or hold this administration accountable. It is a complete surrender of the clean energy economy, which is the future, to our adversaries around the world. It is a refusal to investigate the smoking gun evidence of big oil illegally colluding with OPEC to use our public lands, the American people's lands, to gouge prices for American consumers. Welcome to the first markup of the second Trump regime. Team Extreme's Valentine to big oil and a pledge of allegiance to a lawless wannabe king. I yield back.
The gentleman yields back.